Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Liao Hong. My chief supervisor is Dr. Yuan Qin, and my co-supervisor is Dr. Zhang Li. My research topic is revenue management, bundling computing in size and channel. In this talk, I will first introduce the revenue management. Then I will talk about the dynamic mix bundling with limited inventory. Then I will talk about the product size and price competition. And finally, I will conclude this talk with future research. Revenue management is about selling the right product at the right price to the right customer at the right time, which concludes price-based control, quantity-based control, and the structural control. For example, the price-based control is manage the demand by deciding the prices. For example, the airlines usually mark down the price at the early period to clear the inventory, then mark up the price at the late stage to obtain higher revenue. The quantity-based control is to manage the demand by accepting or rejecting the demand. For example, the hotels may reject demand from the regular class customer if the future demand of the high class is very high. And the structural control is to manage the demand by designing the product itself. For example, YouTube.com has a skippable advertisement for the non-advertisement and the non-skippable advertisement for the short advertisement. My research include all of the controls. Firstly, I will talk about the dynamic mix bundling with limited inventory. Mix bundling is to sell both the components and the package at the same time. And the bid price should be lower than the sum of the components price. Our research question is, for the perishable products and with finite horizon, what is the optimal selling policy for the mix bundling? What is the optimal condition to promote package, and which control should be used, quantity-based control or price-based control? We have the following challenges. Firstly, the desired structural properties may not exist, and the curse of dimension makes it hard to implement the optimal control. We assume that a monopoly-based supplier has Ka units of component A and Kb units of component B, which are perishable, and the selling horizon has T periods. At each period, there's at most one customer arrives, and the arrival rates of the component consumers are lambda A and lambda B respectively, and the arrival rate of the package consumer is lambda AB. On the consumer side, we use Xi to denote the reservation price for the segment I, which follows the distribution Fi, and the prices are denoted as PA, PB, and PAB, and PAB is smaller than the sum of PA and PB, and the customers purchase at most 1 unit of product each time. Thus, the purchase can be denoted as the following matrix, and we use QA and QB to denote the remaining inventory level. We use U to denote the control, which can be quantity-based control, price-based control, or the joint control, and the value function is VT. We use delta to denote the bid price, which is the decrease of the value function if 1 unit of the product is sold. And we start the analysis with QBC, under which the price, under which the product is sold if its bid price is smaller than its retail price. We have the following structural properties. For the bid package, the bid price of the package decreases in the time and decreases in the inventory level. For example, the supplier is more willing to sell the package if the time is closer to the terminal, or at a given time, the supplier is more willing to sell the package if the inventory level is very high. And for the component, we find that the bid price increases with its complement's inventory level, but decreases in its own inventory level. Take the component A as an example. The supplier is more willing to sell the component A if it has a high inventory level. That is because the supplier wants to clear the inventory of the component A. If the component B's inventory level is very high, then the supplier is less willing to sell the component A, because selling A may result in the inventory imbalance. But we found that the bid price of the component may not be monotone in time as a package. We decompose the bid price to explore the reasons. We define the scarcity effect as increase of the bid price if one component is sold, and the complementarity effect as the decrease of the bid price if one complement is sold. We also define the time cost of the scarcity effect and the time cost of the complementarity effect. We find that the scarcity effect is stronger than the complementarity effect, which means if one component, if one package is sold, the bid price of each component would increase, and we found that the bid price of the component increases in time if the time cost of the complementarity effect is larger than the time cost of the scarcity effect. When the inventory level is imbalanced, the bid price of the scarcer component is between its retail price and the package price. During those periods, the scarcer component is not sold, and the larger the inventory imbalance, the stronger the time cost of the complementarity effect. With above structural properties, we can give the optimal threshold values. The threshold value contains the threshold time and the threshold inventory levels. It is easy to manage the mixed bundling. We also studied the price-based control, under which the supplier manages the prices at each period, and the joint control, under which the supplier manages the component with QBC and manages the package with PBC. We found that the structural properties still hold under the PBC and QBC, and we found that the longer the selling horizon, the larger the benefit of the dynamic pricing. Compared to the past literature, we studied the interaction between the component and the package. Now I will talk about the product size and price competition. Product size decision is vital to a firm's competitive strategy. For example, here are two flights in the middle level in Hong Kong. The first one has two rooms with around 600 feet, and the second one has four rooms with around 3,000 square feet. Our research question is, why do the firms differentiate the product size? We assume that two firms sell the same product and they have k units of resource. The game has two stages. In stage one, the firms decide the product size. They can choose to product large product denoted as B, consuming 2 units of product, and small product denoted as C, consuming 1 unit of the resource. In stage 2, the firms compete in price. On the consumer side, we assume that the consumers are uniformly distributed in the interval between 0 and 1. And as this is their utility function, the VS is the value rating. The value rating of the small product is 1, and the value weighting of the large product is theta. When theta is smaller than 2, the product is the sub-additive product. When the theta is larger than 2, the product is super additive. We start the analysis with a centralized system, under which the objective can be either social welfare maximization and the profit maximization. When the objective is to maximize the social welfare, when the product is very large, when the product is super additive, the optimal solution is to sell the large product. When the product is sub-additive, both suppliers sell the small product when the capacity is small. When the capacity is medium, one supplier sells the supplier sells both small and large product. When the capacity is very large, the supplier sells the large product. The optimal profit maximizing solution is similar, but the profit maximizing solution covers smaller market than the social welfare maximizing solution. Now we move to the price computation case. In stage 1, the suppliers compute the product size. The decision can be either sequential or simultaneous, and there may be 3 equilibrium CC, under which both suppliers sell the small product, BB, both sell the large product, BC. One supplier sells the large product while the other one sells the small product. We analyze the subgames BB, CC, and BC respectively. We have the equilibrium. In the sequential decision, when the product is super additive, the suppliers both produce the large product when the capacity is small, and when the capacity is large, the leader sells the large product while the follower sells the small product. When the product is sub-additive, the suppliers both sell the small product when the capacity is very small. As the capacity becomes larger, the follower will switch to the large product. When the capacity is medium, the leader switches to the large product. When the capacity is large enough, the follower switches to the small product. Our finding shows that the suppliers differentiate their product size when the capacity is large enough. Otherwise, if they compete in price, their profit is 0. Our result is different from the Kuru, who considered the quantity computation. We also studied the simultaneous decision, under which the equilibrium is similar, but the equilibrium may not be unique. For example, in this case, there are two equilibrium BB and CC, and the profit of BB is larger. There is potential to coordinate the suppliers. Compared to the past literature, we studied the product size game with price competition. Now I will talk about the concluding remarks. Besides above topics, I also studied the dual channel problem and the condition override model. In the future, I would like to consider the correlation and the substitution between the components and package and the impact of the correlation of components on the selling policy. I would also like to study the general model of M components, M package model. I would also like to study the enforcement learning model to optimize with past data. Thank you very much.